You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about Mel Kiper. Number one, we've got Mel Kiper going full scorched earth on the Cleveland Browns. Shedeur Sanders, Baker Mayfield, all of it. Everything to do with the quarterback situation that is a freaking disaster for the Cleveland Browns. We know Mel Kiper, ride or die with Shedeur Sanders. I mean, he had him as a first-round quarterback. Now, I know Todd McShay, I think, had him as a second-round quarterback. And I do have something involving McShay and Mel Kiper. I heard this morning. When I was in the gym getting a lift, I was listening to Todd's podcast, I believe from Thursday, where he spilled the tea on why we're not getting what we'd like to see. And, of course, what we'd like to see is Mel Kiper go on the Todd McShay Show. But I think we all knew, at least I was pretty sure I knew, why he wasn't getting to do that. And it's because of those sons of bitches over at ESPN, who has everybody furious. Right? Look, make no mistake. I've seen a lot of people trying to dog out YouTube TV, and that's fine. But this is absolutely on ESPN because they want people to use this time to leave another platform and go to their ESPN Unlimited app. That's exactly what this is about. Because now it's not like ESPN Plus. It is actual ESPN, and you can watch all their programming live while it's going on. So don't get confused. This was a ploy, all right? Make no mistake. Mel Kiper going off about the Browns.
Yeah. You had Baker. You had Baker who wasn't sure. Baker was winning. Baker almost had you in a Super Bowl.
Playoff game, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, almost had you in a Super Bowl. To me, Baker should be in Cleveland. But when Cleveland had Baker Mayfield, and they hadn't had any success, they hadn't won anything, okay? Go back to 1999, no consistency at quarterback. 15 times since the AFC North came in 2002, they finished in last place. 15 times in last place. Figure out Dylan Gabriel. That was Kevin Stefanski's guy. Yep. Shedeur Sanders, Andrew Barry brought in. I don't care what the league says. The league doesn't speak about quarterbacks. They don't know any more than what you and I do feel about quarterbacks, really. To me, let's see how it plays out the rest of the year. I hope Shedeur has a chance. And even if he gets in there, he might struggle. Does that mean he stinks? Does that mean he was overrated? No. Didn't 9 executives have him going for the number one quarterback back this same time last year?
Something like that.
Yeah. What happened? Nothing happened on the field. All of a sudden, no, we're washing our hands of Shedeur Sanders. No, we don't want him. To me, the organizations ruin players. They ruin quarterbacks.
Okay, so you heard what he said. He said 9 NFL executives had a first-round grade on him. This tells you what I've been saying. In large part, Shedeur dropped because of the fiasco that he turned the pre-draft process into. I told you guys, look, the NFL spent a lot of money for that pre-draft process, the combine, interviews, all that. He walked in the interviews. He performed badly in multiple interviews involving head coaches. His dad drowned teams out there that they didn't think he wanted to go to or would want to go to, and turned the whole thing into a nightmare. So really and truly, the league made a clear statement. We expect you to act professional and be professional when you come into this league. We spend a lot of money, and we expect you to conduct yourself. These are job interviews. We're not recruiting you. All right? We're not recruiting you. You are selling yourself to us in an interview, just like you would when you walk into any interview. They didn't appreciate that, and they made him feel it in the draft. All right? I'm sure there was plenty of teams. Remember, and there was other teams. They decided later on in the draft, they told the teams picking later in the first, we don't want to meet with you because I won't be there I won't be available. Well, they didn't even get a chance to talk to him. And he's right. They screwed up Baker the whole nine. Dylan Gabriel's Kevin Stefanski's guy. They took 2 quarterbacks. I mean, it's just it's the craziest thing. It really is. But Shedeur Sanders and his daddy, Dion, they own a massive part of how this turned out. How this turned out. All right. I think if he goes to the combine, I think if he conducts himself in a responsible manner, respectful, studies, Dayball gave him homework. He didn't know what he was looking at. He didn't even bother. Yada, yada, yada. It went poorly. And then he got an attitude. Let's say none of that happens. And he goes through the combine. He throws at the combine. All of that. I think he goes in the second or third round. My gut, midway through the second, probably. But they wanted to send that kid a message. No doubt about it. Probably in his daddy, too. Todd McShay slams petty ESPN for blocking potential Mel Kiper Jr. reunion. Yeah. This I heard Todd talking about this. This is what I figured. Todd McShay, formerly the NFL draft analyst at ESPN, Todd, has criticized his former employer for preventing a reunion with Mel Kiper Jr. McShay made comments on this week's episode of the McShay Show at The Ringer while speaking about a potential reunion between him and Kiper. McShay claims ESPN has blocked any chance of them working together. Well, have you noticed no ESPN personalities ever show up on, like, The Herd? I don't think I ever see them on Russillo's show either. That's ESPN doing that. The two were longtime colleagues at the Worldwide Leader. McShay is now questioning the network's handling of its draft coverage. Quote, "What's going on with Mel and I is some petty shit," McShay said during his show. And it's been going on with Mel and I recently, ever since I started the show. They absolutely refuse to have Mel and I on the air together on any platform. NFL reporter Phil Yates has become Kiper's partner after McShay was a casualty of the ESPN's 2023 layoffs. I'm so glad he's on a different platform. McShay spoke positively about Yates, referring to him as a really nice guy who's really good at his job, but says that Yates didn't appear to be a fit with Kiper. In order to make compelling content with Mel, you must challenge Mel. Remember, they were always bickering. And in order to challenge Mel, you must be grounded in high-level content, sources, and years of perspective. And it needs to be your full-time gig, and it's just not. Continued, ESPN getting in the way of the two doing shows together. It's just the new girlfriend who's going to block with their body the opportunity to let the public see the rapport her and the boyfriend has with the ex. That's pretty good. And it's jealous, petty shit rooted in insecurity. And you say, why? And I ask the same question because it's ESPN, the worldwide leader. We're just the McShay Show. But some of the richest people I know are the pettiest and most insecure. He scorched ESPN. You can give them all jets and yachts and mansions in the world, but they just won't ever be happy or content. Other people's happiness and security make them crazy because they can never replicate what you have. And look, regardless of what you think about Kiper and McShay was like must-see television, during the draft. And but look, I was happy when McShay was gone from ESPN. It was like one less reason to ever have to watch that platform. I mean, literally, outside of actual live sporting content, I don't watch ESPN. I don't consume anything that they have going on outside of college football and Monday Night Football. That's it. That's it. By the way, McShay led the charge with breaking a lot of that Shedeur Sanders news involving the behind-the-scenes stuff, what happened during the draft process, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, if you're not subscribed to the McShay Show, shit, you better go do it. It's good content, especially if you like draft talk and you want to know about these quarterbacks that are coming out, because he's already talked a bunch about them. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.